Hello and welcome to this video for Blackboard Learn. Today we're going to take a look at how you can manage your grade center and also do some certain tasks with column organization. So it's very important to understand that how to get columns into the grade center. So if you haven't seen these tutorials, you're going to want to look at that. But now we have some columns in the grade center that we've added, and they're starting to add up on the end. And you'll notice that there's also some columns at the beginning of the grade center. So there's some things that we can do to organize this to make it a little bit easier on us to see what we want to see. So the very first thing I wanted to point out is these extra columns that are at the beginning of your grade center. Now these columns are called system columns, and they feed information about the system, and they absolutely cannot be deleted, but they can be hidden. So at the beginning of each semester we call it pruning the grade center. You need to go in and hide some columns, get things organized, get ready to go for that semester. So in this particular instance you'd want to hide the columns. Now there's two ways to do that. First of all, we'll go ahead and hide the student ID first. The way that you can do it one way is column by column, by clicking the drop down in that column header and clicking hide column. Pretty easy, gets the column out of there pretty quickly. Now if you wanted to get that column back, I'll show you another area that you can get that column back, or you can hide the other three in just a couple clicks. So if I go to manage and I go down to column organization, you'll notice that it gives me a different viewpoint of my grade center. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this side menu here just so we have a little bit more real estate to look at when we're in this column organization menu. And you're going to notice a few things. Now the very first thing you'll see is that there's things that are shown in all grade center views and then not in a grading period. Now we've talked about grading periods in a future tutorial, and you can take a look at those if you would like to use them, but you don't be worried by saying not in a grading period. That means that they're just not associated with a date range at this stage, so they're all just going to show up in your grade center. Now you're going to see that there's kind of this division. So these are the system columns that I was talking about before, and they're actually labeled under the category of institution. Now if you go to the columns that are underneath in this not in a grading period section, you're going to notice that we have a few calculated columns, we have a few columns without a category, and we actually have two columns that do have categories. So these are different column types that have been fed into Blackboard. Now the very first thing I wanted to show you with this screen was how you can hide those other columns. So there's that username, the last access, and availability. And you already noticed that the student ID is hidden because it's in parentheses and it's italics and then the hidden's at the end. So in this instance I just selected the checkboxes, highlight the show hide button, and then I can click hide. It will hide those columns. Now this won't stick until I hit the submit button. One other thing I wanted to show you is that you can actually hide or freeze these other columns, the last name and first name. So this bar is indicating that anything above it will be frozen in place. So when you scroll left to right, that column will not move. So maybe you just wanted to do just the last name and you didn't really mind the first name scrolling over to the left. You can move that bar up. Alright, so I'll scroll down and let's see what else we can do with our grade center. So let's take a look, and let's say the research report actually has to come after your essay 1. It comes right before test 1. You can just grab the handler on the left and drag that column to the particular area you want it to set. Now you'll notice that we have a few of these columns that are not in a category. So I'm going to go ahead and select a checkbox for that particular assignment 1, and I am also going to do it for essay 1. And I can go down to this change category button and then select the category that it should go under. So both of those are assignments. I'll click the assignment category, and it's going to take those assignments and apply them to that assignment category. Now the tests, we can do the same thing, change category to, and add that into the test category. So now our grade center is looking pretty well organized. You'll be able to see that everything's in a category. We've hidden the rows that we don't want to see. We've even frozen just the last name, so we have a little bit more scroll room. And at this point we're ready to apply these changes to the grade center. So I'll go ahead and hit submit. And now our grade center is going to look a little different. Those first areas have been removed from Blackboard, and then you will be able to see more of your columns. And you'll notice, and I'll have to adjust the size of this box right here so you can see it. When you scroll left to right, that first column is going to be frozen in place while everything else is going to scroll. And so that concludes this tutorial on how to manage and organize your Blackboard Grade Center.